I was diagnosed at the age of 6 with diabetes. My parents had decided to leave Cuba since it is a communist country. Food had to be ordered by an actual booklet, and there was only a certain amount that was given per person. One small piece of meat and one small container of milk. Even though I was a diabetic, I wouldn't get any more food. At the time, it was difficult to obtain any syringes or insulin that a diabetic would need to survive. Later in life, after arriving in the United States, I had many issues because of my diabetes. I lost my vision and shortly after had renal failure. A kidney transplant was my only option. The advances here helped me survive. If I would have not came to the United States, I would not be here today. I thank God every day for the opportunity I was given. My name is Myra, and I am Albert's aunt. I am Cuban and diabetic.
My name is Lucia Rodriguez, and I'm Albert Rodriguez's mom. I'm 47 years old. I have type 1 diabetes, which is juvenile. What I was doing in the kitchen before, I was checking my blood sugar with a Azucar machine. As you can see, I put my finger, I put the strip.
It's low, so I have to eat.
And for every single Azucar machine, you have to give it a drop of blood. Having diabetes, I don't let it interfere with my everyday living. I've always gone about doing what I have to do. When I was a child, I went to school normally like everybody else, all the other kids. I cried like everybody else, wanted toys like everybody else, had Christmas just like all the other kids. Halloween was kind of difficult, not trying to, put my hand into that goodie bag, but my family, my mother and my grandmother, they never, exempt me from anything or from doing anything. And it really, now being an adult, has never stopped me from doing what I want to do.
It's just lettuce. I mean, anything that has to do with lettuce and vegetables is good for diabetic.
Of course, you have to accompany it with something because, a diabetic can't just eat salads and not have meat with it because, then of course you get a low blood sugar.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Ramirez and I'm Albert's aunt. I have type 2 diabetes. Having diabetes doesn't really interfere with my everyday life. It changes the way that I eat a little bit. It changes my lifestyle, but not in the way that it interferes with what I do.
Hi, my name is Dr. Gilberto Gastel. I'm an internist in Union City, very well acquainted with diabetes. The different types of diabetes is two different types, type 1 and type 2. As we all know, type 1 is acquired at an early age, is a juvenile type of diabetes. That doesn't mean that type 2, that is always related to the elderly population, cannot be treated also with insulin. The type 1 is required insulin at all times. The key of controlling both diabetes, type 1 and type 2, is number 1, a diet, an exercise program, and the diet has to be a nutritional caloric diet, counting calories and sticking to it and avoiding certain carbohydrates and certain foods that will increase the sugars and will not be able to control the proper amount of the sugars in your body, and therefore the insulin will increase in your consumption and will lead to further deterioration of your body.
La pregunta es, ¿quién es aquí un diabético? Levanten la mano.
Yo soy uno de ellos.
Who is a diabetic? ¿Y qué tipo de diabetes tiene?
La número 2. No tengo la número 2.
¿Qué es? ¿Cuál es el número 2?
La de las personas ya mayores.
¿Qué pueden comer?
Que pueden...
¿Y tú, hija?
Bueno, yo tengo, pero la 2 también.
La 2.
Esa es la que le queda.
Yo también tengo la 2.
Okay. The most difficult part of living with diabetes is monitoring yourself, all day. People that have to give themselves shots. I mean, in the very beginning, I had to give myself shots 4 times a day. That, is kind of, difficult. When you're used to it, it's not, but, it kind of is. Now I'm with the insulin pump, so I have to monitor myself a little more. Make sure that I don't get low blood sugars because, they tend to be dangerous. So basically that's it. Stress is something that does a lot of harm to your diabetes, especially if it's an emotional diabetes that you have, like myself. When I'm stressed and I'm tired, it affects my blood level, my sugars. So, that is an everyday living thing. You can't prevent that. But, I try to find 3 times a week I exercise, and that's something that helps me tremendously.
I take medication. I take 1 pill twice a day. It's a combination of 2 different medications, and it helps regulate your blood sugar. It doesn't allow you to have hypoglycemic events, and it doesn't allow your blood sugar levels to go up.
¿Ustedes encuentran vivir una vida normal con diabetes difícil?
Yo sí.
Yo también.
No, yo.
¿Por qué bien?
Un poquito limitada las comidas que tengo que comer,
Claro.
que no son las que deseo, pero tengo que limitarme a las que yo...
Pero lo que tiene la cocinera que le
Bueno,
cocina
la
lo
cantidad.
que tienen que comer.
Ajá.
¿Y tú, tía?
Bueno, yo
Ella misma se controla.
misma me controlo porque como yo vivo
¿Pero tú no
sola.
encuentras difícil vivir con la diabetes?
Bueno, no lo encuentro difícil. Porque,
Una vida normal.
Una vida normal. Porque yo te digo, yo me inyecto y como lo que yo quiero, lo que me gusta.
La
Que sea poquito, pero...
The advice that I would give to people and teenagers and children that are living with diabetes is that never let it stop from doing what you want to do in life. You have to, yes, manage yourself, take medication, but that's just totally a different part of time that you have to take for yourself. That's what I call it, time for myself. Just the same way you go and get, a haircut at, beauty salon or at the barber shop or whatever, that's what you do to yourself as well with diabetes. You just take time to take care of yourself 4 times a day. And what I would advise the families is always be very supportive. My mom always, when I was younger, looked for remedies just to help me in my adulthood, for it not to give me certain, other things that diabetes, does damage, your eyes, your heart, your kidneys, your circulation, it touches all that. And my mom, being the woman that she is, always gave me stuff to be able to prolong things like that, for it not to happen to me. So I always, when I meet a child that has diabetes, I work in a school, I always try to be supportive And even though they walk in, you know, like I used to walk in scared and in a secret, because it's a secret, I always advise them that, and their parents, that, you know, not to be so quiet about it. It's good when you are outspoken about having diabetes, because that, as long as I've had it, because that way other people can tend to reach out to you the same way. And the families, like I said, can be supportive and watch over you, and at the same time, I feel that they should never make you handicapped with it and not let you succeed in life having it, because my parents never did that to me.
Red, white.